Hello, everybody. This is Adam, the Dabbling Warlock, and today we're going to be doing day 13 of the Learn to Draw in 30 Days challenge. So, yesterday you may have noticed that I was not firing on all cylinders. Definitely not firing on all cylinders. So, I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be doing a little bit of a calling a little bit of a mulligan on yesterday and redoing the exercise from that today, and then we're going to jump into the exercise. Whoop. One moment. Sorry, dropped my stylus, so had to pick it up. Okay, so where was I? Oh yes, calling a mulligan on yesterday, and going to be redoing the exercise from that today. And we're going to be doing, we're also going to be doing the exercise for today. So, to get through this as efficiently as possible, I think I'm going to be doing today's exercise first, and then going back and redoing yesterday's exercise. So what are we going to be doing today? Well, we're going to be drawing 3 cylinders, and we're going to be bending them to varying degrees. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to draw our first cylinder, and then let's see. Yeah, didn't like that how that was going. So we're just gonna draw this first cylinder real quick. And then we're going to draw. Okay, let's see. Amount erased, and then we're going to make that a little bit smaller. Now it's a little more controlled. So, right there. Okay. Okay, and then we're okay, there we go. And we're just going to erase this part that we can't see. All right, there we go. All right, so that's our first cylinder. And we're just going to draw these, and you'll see why we're drawing these lines in just a second. It's mostly just to help show the shape. So yeah, something like that. And we'll go ahead and we're just going to shade the top here, just kind of help it differentiate that. All right, so the next one, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drawing the top like we normally do, but instead of just drawing the top, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coming down here, and we're going to be drawing the bottom, and we're going to try and angle it, make it the same size, and angle it the same way, like that. And then we're going to draw 2 curves. Let's see. And just try and get them to connect. And I think I made that a little too small. That's okay, we could fix that. So, got that, and we're just going to erase this line. Alright, shade that in. Go ahead and just make this in a little bit. Okay, and then We're going to try and smooth this line out a little bit. And then we're just going to erase that bit. There we go. And then we can get rid of that as well. And then let's clean this up a little bit. Okay, so the reason we did that was that gives us a start point and end point for our curves, and it makes it a little bit easier. And then we can just go ahead and draw our lines that are segmenting out the cylinder like that. Okay, so that's the first one. And our last one is going to be a really bendy one. Like that. And we're just going to draw. Let's see, I think we can do a little bit better. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Well, I say we, and what I mean is I can do better. And I can, if I concentrate on it. It's just sometimes concentration comes hard. There we go, that looks better. And yeah. Yeah, I don't like how that one turned out. That's okay, we can always erase it and try again. Alright, just shading those. Let's see. I'm gonna be honest. Now, let's go ahead and erase these as well. I think I made some bad assumptions here. Alright, so I'm gonna be honest. This probably shouldn't curve that much. And there's a part of me that's tempted to pop open Blender, but I don't want to get myself distracted any more than I was yesterday, and I was very distracted. Okay, so that one's gonna be almost edge on. So yeah, something like that. So that's the general idea behind it. Funny thing is, you can almost always tell which ones I did first because they're the worst looking ones of the bunch. So let's go ahead and it's not gonna hurt anything if I make this look worse, right? What's worse is gonna happen? I mean, it's not like the art police are gonna bust down my door going, "Art police, open up!" Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, so we got that. All right, then we're just gonna make this nice and thick down here. And then the same up top. Like that. Okay, yeah, that, I think... Okay, I think that helps that a lot. So yeah, there's a lot you can do with this, and one of the things you may have noticed is that you can actually use this as like the building blocks for a tree. So let's say you're doing like a palm tree or something like that that's growing on the side of an, or growing on an island, and it's curving like that. I probably should have looked at what a palm tree actually looks like before I started sketching this. Oh well. So something like that. And then so yeah, something like that. That works for all sorts of trees, that kind of thing. So we're just going to grab this little guy and we're going to move him over here out of the way. And then we're going to move on. So yeah, that's pretty much it for day 13. And there's all sorts of things that this can come in handy for. So like, it's not just trees, it could be pipe work, just about anything. And really this could also work for like, doesn't have to be squares. You could also do the same thing with other shapes. So, or did I say square? Circles, cylinders, I mean. So it doesn't just have to be so yeah, that's like a box like that or something like that. That doesn't just have to be doesn't have to be cylinders that you're bending. It could be boxes or anything like that. So so going back to the exercise yesterday, let me just move this over. Actually, yeah, let's grab this. And just move that over there. And we're going to call that good. So yesterday we were trying to do the boxes, and honestly, I don't think I did a good job on those. So I'm going to be doing those again today. So, like yesterday, we're just going to be drawing a stack of boxes and a stack of cylinders. And also, one of the things that that I was supposed to do that I did not do because I didn't really watch the video like I normally do beforehand, and that was Supposed to give some of these some shading. And I didn't do that because, well, sometimes I can be a bit of a dummy. Alright, so... Okay, so... And let's finish drawing the boxes and then we'll figure out the shading. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to draw a smaller one on top of that really small one, I think what I'm going to do is draw a big one underneath this middle one. So, like that. Nope. Probably should have. Yeah. So, sometimes you can screw up like that. That's okay. That's what erasers and whiteout are for. Okay. Still not. Still not the best, but it will do. It'll do. So we're just going to add some quick shading. Just some quick scribbles and cross hatching. To one side. Alright, and now we just need to figure out what kind of angle we're going to go for. So we're going to say that the light's coming from this way, and it's kind of falling down at that kind of angle. So we want to just So what I'm doing here is Yeah, I'm not interested, Mitchie. Not really. So, whoops. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So, what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out where the shadows are going to fall. So, we're trying to match this angle and just drawing from the top corner down to where the ground plane would be. And because the ground plane should, in theory, align with the edges of these boxes, what we can do is we can draw, faintly extend the line out like that. And then we got that. And if I did everything right, we should just be able to make a parallel line like that. Yeah, didn't quite get that right, but that's okay. We can fix that. All right, and then we just shade it in using whatever technique you want to do. And there's many shading techniques as there are artists in the world. Just pick whichever one works for you. So, all right, so we got that. All right, so now what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and draw we're going to try and draw a stack of cylinders, and we're going to try and do that, make it look like they're sitting all on the same plane. So the way we're going to be doing that is we're just going to be drawing a line out here, just going straight out, and we're going to try and match the angles that we got going on. And this is a little bit trickier. And because we're trying to draw a circle, this is also going to make it a lot trickier. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw just a line like that. And then we're going to draw a line like that. And then another one like that. That's just trying to parallel. Trying to parallel the sides, which I don't think I really did a great job on, but that's fine. That's fine. So now we're just going to draw an ellipse like this. So if you remember back on day one, we were trying to draw a circle in a square. And this is one of the reasons why that's a good skill to master. It's it's the basis of learning to draw a circle in its perspective. So where before we were just drawing a square like this, and then we were just dividing that into quarters like that, and then we were trying to draw a circle. And I think that's the best I've ever done at that exercise. So that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to do something like that. All right, and then we can draw the sides of our oh, got distracted. Okay. So anyway, the thing is we want to be able to translate that to this, and this is where being able to draw an ellipse comes in handy, because eventually when you start drawing in perspective and that kind of thing, that's how you can freehand or very easily, well, relatively easily, get a circle drawn in perspective and have it look right. So now what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and just match the curves that we got going on. There we go. And we're just going to erase all of this that we can't see. And we're going to go ahead and erase our guidelines as well, because now we don't need them anymore. And we're just going to continue on from there. So let's just go ahead and get all this erased. That way we got a better idea of what's going on in here. All right. So. Oh, might help if I actually follow the line, wouldn't it? Alright, we're just going to erase that little oopsie. And then just try and clean this up a little bit more. And then we're going to erase that. Okay. Alright, so that's our first cylinder. And we're going to draw another one on top of it. Let's see. So we're going to draw the bottom. Like that. And then we're going to draw the sides going up. And then we're going to draw the top. And again, we're going to go ahead and clean this up. Alright, and then we're going to draw one more cylinder. This one's going to be very, very tiny. Or at least it's on my screen going to be very tiny. Alright, there we go. And we're going to have to redraw some of this, but that's okay. There we go. Alright, now we have our 3 cylinders. And so we can just do the same thing we were doing before for the shading. Just going to do vertical lines. And then just quickly draw some arcs to kind of give some shape to it. Alright, and again, I'm going to be quickly drawing some cast shadows. So, kind of going this way. Alright, so there's the sides. Now, this one's going to be a little bit trickier because, well, what we want to do is we want to find the tangent So we got this line right here. I'm just going to make that a little darker so it's easier to see. Which means we probably shouldn't have shaded all the way around here. So we're just going to erase a little bit and then draw that line back in. Then do the same thing here. Alright, so we got that. So what we want to do is we want to draw a line matching that angle that we got going on. Like that. And then same thing right there. And then we also want to draw from there. There, and then let's see. Oh, that's not quite matching. There we go. Alright, so there we go. And then alright, so what's going to happen is we're going to try and draw the shadow. And then we're going to try and draw an arc. And that connects the shadow with the 3 points that we've got. And if I had done this right, what we should be getting is like the shape of the shadow of the cylinder. So I'm just gonna kind of guess on the rest of these. And I'm not gonna try and draw that the shadow that this one's casting all the way down there. I'm just gonna color this in like so. I think I see what I did wrong. Oh well. Oh well. Things for another time. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Probably went a little too in depth for the shadow stuff. You probably don't need to worry about that right now, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have in your toolbox. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Anyway, hope you'll join me tomorrow for day 14. And just a little bit of a heads up, I am going to be streaming that one during my lunch break. So that one's going to be happening at 1:30 Central, which is 6 hours behind UTC or Greenwich Mean Time, whichever one you prefer. So yeah, we're going to be doing that at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and hope you'll join me there. This is the Dabbling Warlock, signing off.